Hello everyone, this is your 5 and welcome to the Cobra Central Toy Review. And today's toy review, we're looking at the 2011 release by Hasbro of the G.I. Joe, the Rise of Cobra vehicle and action figure review. And today's vehicle and action figure review, we're looking at the Desert Battle Sand Serpent and the Star Viper. Now, I got this straight from, eBay in the US, and this cost me for 160 ringgit with shipping. Now, I know it's a bit more pricier because in the US this being sold for $15.99. Now, why would I even pay that amount? Because the Sand Serpent here never officially released in Malaysia at all. Nope, never. This never existed in Malaysia. And the funny thing about the Sand Serpent here, it has a little interesting history. Hasbro intended to release the Sand Serpent in 2010, most likely in the mid or late 2010, and it appeared in Target retailer, making it sort of like a Target exclusive. But for some reason, in a short period of time, Hasbro decided to recall it back without no explanation at all. Then in 2011, it started to pop up in a Ross retailer, making it as a, Ross exclusive with no explanation again. So that is why for the Sand Serpent it's pretty hard to get actually, especially it only appear in certain retailers, one retailer which is Ross. Now let's forget about all that. Let's take a look at the front part of the packaging itself. You got a nice little artwork of the Sand Serpent itself. Now it's a sort of similar artwork style as the 2009 release of the Night Raven, except in a different angle, and it's shooting two missiles flying across the desert towards the sea. Now there's a lot of nice details out for this artwork itself. As you can see, there are a lot of panels, nice camo for this entire plane itself, and you got the Star Viper at the cockpit there, sitting there. And speaking of the Star Viper, next to it is the small little window where the figure is inside. Now for the Star Viper, a lot of younger generations were asking why name such a stupid sounding name for a character like that. Basically, that Star Viper actually existed character that was released in 1988. The original Star Viper was the pilot for the Cobra Stiletto plane. Yep, this character really did exist, which is kind of interesting. Now let's take a look at the rest of the packaging itself. Like always, it's a same plane from the 2009 release of the Night Raven, so it will include the electronic lights and sounds, and it requires 3 AA batteries. Now on one side of the packaging itself, I'll show you the Star Viper. Very awesome artwork, as you can see there. Very nice. I really love the artwork here, making the Star Viper a very menacing character. Now at the bottom we have the profile card, and it stated Star Viper pilots command the skies in advanced fighter jets designed by Mars Industries. These test pilots are precision-oriented experts in aeronautical engineering. They are also calculating cold-blooded warriors of the air. Preferred weapon, Mars BVR AAM-32J bracket beyond visual range air-to-air missile. Of course, like the previous Night Raven packaging with the figure itself, they don't normally give the figure any accessories at all. Typical for any vehicle pack. Now at the back of the packaging itself, same settings of the images if you compare to the 2009 Night Raven packaging. Where the plane is located, where the figure is, and so does the panels, the smaller panels of the images itself. Now the bigger picture, we have the Sand Serpent detailing of the electronic sound buttons. You have the thruster lines as well. You got the missile launching. You got the figure there. You got the handle that pops down below. Cocking action that works just like a pump action shotgun. 2 sides of the missiles fire simultaneously, 2 at the same time, and a drop down cockpit. Now here we have a smaller write-up. It stated the Sand Serpent is an experimental aircraft designed by Mars Industries. Employing stealth technology to maintain radar invisibility, the Striker jet bombards area and ground forces with prototype anti-armor maximum range 4X missiles. It can cruise at a hypersonic speed of a Mach 6 using the highly advanced HSE -3 Super Cruise engine. The Sand Serpent jet provides Cobra with air support during the desert battle against the G.I. Joe team. Very nice. Now, without further ado, let's open up this packaging so we can molest the vehicle and the figure. Be right back. And we're back of the Room figure and the rest of stuff from packaging. First things first, we'll take a look at the figure and what's been packed in the packaging itself, such as the instruction manual and the sheet and sticker. First off, we'll take a look at the manual itself. Now, it comes with a big piece of a instruction manual, and the top section here showcase on how to build the plane itself. As you can see, the instruction is quite simple and easy to understand, and the whole assembly itself is rather easy. All you have to do is just plug in the parts and you're done. You don't have to worry about anything else like screwing the parts or, well, applying glue to it. Bottom section of the manual itself, this is going to give you nightmares because there's a lot of stickers, and this is where you place them. There's a total of 85 stickers in this sheet, and a lot of these stickers are quite small and some of them are quite thin. And from this manual itself, it tells you where to place them, but there are some portion of the plane itself really needs your steady hand to place on the really tight areas, such as you got these 2 strips of stickers and you need to place it at the back portion of the plane itself, the thrusters, and it's between the slits, or some places like, well, you have to place stickers inside the cockpit, as you can see now, and no, you cannot dismantle the cockpit. So if you're like me and you want to place the stickers in a very correct positioning without making it look weird with a, well, weird angle position, yes, this will actually take you more than 30 minutes to apply all the stickers in. Back portion of the manual itself, one section here showcases the features of the plane, like how to activate the drop down cockpit by putting this latch on top of the plane, how to manually lower the handle itself, so that's the landing gears, and where the 3 buttons located on the plane itself to activate the electronic sounds, and how to fire the projectiles. Bottom section here is how to install the batteries, which are located at the bottom section of the plane. All you have to do is just unscrew the hatch and place the 3 AA batteries. Here we have a cautionary wording saying what to do and what not to do with dead batteries. Now that's over with. Let's take a look at the Star Viper. Like most of the G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra vehicle packs itself that came along with a figure, they don't normally, well, pack the figure with accessories or a base stand, especially on the base stand for a vehicle pack. Some do have accessories, but majority of them don't have a base stand at all. So for Star Viper here, he doesn't have any of those, so it is quite lacking of anything else. So let's take a look at the figure's paint job. Now even the paint job is lacking, as you can see here, but it's not boring in colors. At least the colors are, well, there's different kinds of colors to make the Star Viper figure looks quite nice compared to the Alley Viper officer from the Pursuit of Cobra line, the Alley Viper officer that drives the Cobra Fury tank, which is all mostly in gray color and really dull plastic red parts. For the Star Viper, it has dark gray for the uniform, black, bronze in color, and a little bit of dark red for the visor, as you can see here. I'm going to start off which parts are already painted. The head here, the entire head piece is all black in plastic. It's not painted at all. The visor is painted, but it's rather dark red for the visor, so you're hardly able to see the red there. Despite that, if let's say that you place it in a real far distance, you can't actually see the difference whether or not if it's painted or not, unless you really pull up close. And I really wish it actually painted a bit more red, a little bit brighter in red compared to the profile card or the side of the artwork of the Star Viper. Now the two wings are painted in bronze, as you can see there, and so does this communication box there. Now the chest piece here, you can see they actually imprint the Cobra logo, but when they imprint the entire thing, it also make the, well, a large portion of the chest itself look kind of shiny, because they actually really place a sort of like a stick-on sticker to place it into the body itself. Torso, waist, upper, thighs, the upper bicep, the elbow joints here are not painted at all, just pure dark gray plastic color, which is a pity though. There are some portion of the parts itself that really do need a little bit touch up, like the belt itself. The wrist is painted in bronze color, as you can see there. Now the hands is actually made of black plastic material, but they actually painted it to make it look more shiny, look more leathery. Knee joint is of course not painted, but it's in bronze plastic color. Now the lower legs here is actually made of black plastic color, as you can see that, but they actually paint this section to actually make it more consistent to the colors throughout the entire body itself, like this dark gray uniform. But problem is the lower legs here is made of a black plastic material color, and when they paint the dark gray paint job, it looks more darker than usual. So in the far distance away, when you see it, it's like there's no difference at all. The boots is of course not painted. I really wish they apply more details of paint job, but at least the color is not too dull, because the bronze is actually making it worthwhile. It's just that the Cobra logo is covered, as you can see, thanks to the communication box there, so you're barely able to see the Cobra logo unless you tilt the head on one side, and I really wish the wizard is painted in a bit more brighter red. Now let's take a look at the figures mold. Like most G.I. Joe figures, they tend to reuse the molds to save cost, so we'll take a look at the reused molds first. The upper torso, waist, upper thighs here share the same parts from Captain Ace, as you can see there. The upper arms and hands share the same parts from Snow Job. The lower arms, kneecaps, lower legs and boots share the same parts as the Air Viper, aka Swallow Viper. The only thing new is the head sculpt, which is absolutely gorgeous, and this is not a helmet at all. This is a solid one piece head. Really nicely done. I really love the amount of details they put onto the head itself. It bears a bit resemblance to the mask character Mouse Mayhem, who wore the Viper helmet, as you can see now. And the most ironic part about this helmet itself, it bears no resemblance to the 1988 release of the Star Viper. Can you beat that? That kind of irony. Let's take a look at the details there. On the side of each side of the head itself, there's a dial. As you can see, there's a dial and tubing there. On the back portion of the head, there's a oxygen canister. In front here, you got the tubing covered in wires that connects to this communication box, which is very nicely done in detail. Now, at the back portion of the box itself, there's an empty slit, which led me to believe that when they designed the head itself, they actually, designed something, probably an accessory, to connect this to the body itself. But since this figure doesn't have it, I really wish I could see the actual prototype of the figure itself. But if you think about it, if they do have it connected to the body, you're barely able to turn the head much, as you can see here. Very interesting to note. Now let's take a look at the figure's articulation. The head barely able to pivot up and down or side to side, but can turn 360 degrees. Torso here can pivot downwards, backwards, and turn 360 degrees. Shoulders here can turn 360 degrees, but the moment you lift the arms all the way up, due to the sculpt of the side of the torso itself, it tends to spread the arms a little bit further out. Arms can raise the arms this far. Elbow joint here can bend only this far, not a lot, and cannot bend backwards of course, and turn 360 degrees. Wrist joint here can turn 360 degrees. Hip joints here can move forward, back a little bit, to the sides a little bit. Knee joint here is double jointed and can bend this far, and ankle joint here can pivot downwards, up a little bit, and turn 360 degrees. Now overall the figure is actually not bad. I really love the new head sculpt. The head sculpt is very nicely done. I really love the amount of details for the head sculpt. However, the paint job is very lacking. As you can see, there's not a lot of paint job involved for this figure, and it doesn't have a lot of accessories. Actually, there's no accessories at all. There's no base stand at all. Very lacking of paint job. But if I'm gonna give a rating on this, I still like the figure because, well, at least you have something new there. A really awesome looking head sculpt. So if I'm gonna give a rating on this, I'll say I'll give it a nice 6 out of 10. Yes, 6 out of 10 for the Star Viper. Next up, we'll take a look at the Sand Serpent. Be right back. And we're back, and let's take a close look at the Sand Serpent plane itself. Now, first things first, the Sand Serpent is exactly the same mold being used for the 2009 release of the G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra Night Raven, except with a different paint job, so there's absolutely no difference in design at all. Okay, let's take a look at the features before we go to the colors. Now, it comes with the drop down cockpit, and all you have to do is just pull this latch from the top to, well, slam the entire cockpit to the ground itself. This is where you place the figure, like so. Now, the problem with this cockpit is that there's 4 legs that are supporting the cockpit is rather, well, dodgy, as you can see here. It's very, very wobbly. Second, when you place the figure inside, you have to really adjust it very well. Otherwise, well, let's say that the arm is hindering when you close the cockpit, and if the arms is actually pop out a little bit and it's hindered the cockpit being closed properly, it will just leave a wide gap open. And sometimes when you close the cockpit, you have to close it slowly and not close it fast. Otherwise, you'll just bounce the figure inside all over the place, and it won't sit still because there's no seatbelt. So you have to close the entire cockpit slowly. As you can see, the arms is not placed properly, so you have to move the arms a little bit, or at least adjust the body a little bit so it can close properly. And there you have it. The figure is inside. Very nicely done. Of course, the head is all the way back here, so I'm not too sure how does the pilot see through all that, since the head is all the way back here. Now, the cockpit here is made of the clear translucent yellow plastic, so there's the window at the top here, on the side here, and next to the missiles, as you can see there, and also the back portion of the thrusters. Now, the colors is very nice, but from the side here and the back portion of the thrusters itself, when you activate the electronic sounds, it will light up. There are 2 different types of lighting, one being in orange and the other one will be in red. So let's activate the features. The button is at the back portion here, as you can see. So right now it's on off mode, so when you push the toggle down, it's now on. The 3 buttons are located in this section here. So the first button would activate this. Second button will activate the communication of the pilot. And the third button will activate the thrusters. And pretty long sound effect too. As you can see, the lighting now and the back is all in red. Now for the missiles, in order to launch the missiles, first things first, you have to pull this entire handle down like so. And there you have it, that's the handle with the trigger. Now when you press the button, without cocking the plane itself, it will fire the 2 missiles. And if you press again, as you can see the orange lighting there, you will press again, the missiles won't, well, launch. If you press it twice in a very fast unison, it will activate the machine gun. Now in order to fire the missiles again, you have to cock the front section of the head itself, like so, like a shotgun, and you can see the missile has aligned upwards, and when you press the trigger again, it will fire the missiles again. Very nicely done. Now the landing gears is nothing really special. As you can see, the landing gears is just pure black plastic material, and the wheels are all in one solid piece, so the wheels does not move at all, which is rather disappointing, as you can see here. And for the wheels itself, when you try to close it, it seemed very cheaply made. Well, I got this feeling that it's kind of cheap actually. It's not really well done. Not a lot of details. Well, there is details. The don't bother to make a workable view for the plane itself, so hence why I call it a little bit cheap. Other than that, the entire mold of the plane itself is actually the same thing with the Night Raven, but there are quite a number of nice little details. As you can see that there's a lot of panels. But one would wonder, where's the gas pump? How do you actually, well, fill the plane with gas? It's not like the 25th anniversary version of the planes itself, like the Conquest X30 or the Cobra Rattler or whatsoever, where you have small little details like gas pump or filters or whatever. They have a lot of details there. And the bottom section here bears a little bit of details, not a lot. This entire section here is actually, well, a little bit of a FOC rules. And here we have Made in China 2008 Hasbro. Not a lot of details being applied onto it. Also, when you pull off the handle downwards, this is where you place the 3 AA batteries. You have to unscrew it here, as you can see that. Now, earlier on you heard there's machine gun sounds. Now, I already checked throughout the entire plane. There's no machine gun, well, gun pods found anywhere at all. So I wonder where does the machine gun come from? Unlike the other planes that I already reviewed that actually show the machine gun pod usually in the front, there's nothing in the front, as you can see here. And no, this is not it. This is a screw hole. Now for the entire plane's paint job, well, it's mostly in plastic color. The only paint job applied onto it is just the top section here. The top section is use of a sandy brown plastic color with 2 types of, well, brown camo paint job applied to majority of the plane itself. There's brown and there's also dark brown, as you can see there. But there are some parts of the plane that's not painted, like this latch here, pure plastic color, and it looks like it's a different type of plastic material being used. It's a bit more shinier. And there's the 3 buttons here, and you can see that the inconsistent of the colors here. They could have used the same colors as the body itself, but, or at least same color as the material as being used for the latch itself, but no, they have to use this color, same one as the bottom section of the body itself, so making it very inconsistent. And really, when you look at it, it looks kind of weird with this buttons popping out like that, like so. Now the entire section of the wings, the stabilizers, the back portion of the wing, this section here as well, the fins, landing gears, and the nose cone here is all made of black plastic color. As you can see here, bottom section is nothing that special. And also, when you pull down the latch, the 4 legs that support the cockpit itself is made of a beige colored plastic material. As you can see here, very loose, very wobbly, it's not very stable. Not a lot of details inside the cockpit. So there you have it. This is the Sand Serpent itself. If I'm gonna give a rating out of this, I say the Sand Serpent is actually not bad. If I want to give a rating out of this plane, I'll say I'll give it a nice, well, a 7 out of 10. Yes, a 7 out of 10 for the Sand Serpent, because as you look at it, it's actually not bad for a vehicle, but there's not a lot of details being applied to it. I'm really disappointed on the landing gears, being that the wheels don't work properly. I am disappointed on the wobbly cockpit, and there's not a lot of details inside the cockpit as well. Bottom section of the plane, there's nothing really special. Also with the inconsistent colors with the buttons as well, and some parts of the paint job of the camo is not applied onto the latch itself. So it's actually not bad, it's just not that great compared to the 25th anniversary planes that being released a few years ago. So a 7 out of 10 for the Sand Serpent. I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05 and I'm signing off.